AITA for refusing to help my best friend with her wedding because she didn't make me a bridesmaid? I'm 27F and my best friend Chelsea is 28F. We've been best friends since freshman year of college, so like 9 years now. We've been through everything together: bad breakups, family drama, roommate nightmares, job hunting after graduation, all of it. We talked basically every single day and did girls' nights at least twice a month. I genuinely considered her my closest friend and thought she felt the same way about me. Chelsea got engaged to her boyfriend Brad about 8 months ago. I was so excited for her. We went out for celebratory drinks the night it happened and she was showing everyone the ring and just glowing. The whole time I kept waiting for her to ask me to be a bridesmaid or maid of honor or whatever. She didn't bring it up that night, but I figured she was just waiting to do something cute and special. A month went by and she still hadn't asked me. We were hanging out at her apartment doing wedding planning stuff and she was showing me bridesmaid dress options. I was giving my opinions thinking she was including me in the process before officially asking. Then she mentioned that her sister was going to be maid of honor and her 3 cousins were going to be bridesmaids. I just kind of sat there confused. I finally asked her directly if I was going to be in the wedding party. She got this uncomfortable look on her face and said that she was keeping it family only because Brad's side was doing the same thing and they wanted it to be even. His brother is best man and his 3 cousins are groomsmen. She said she hoped I understood and that I'd still come to the bachelorette party and help with planning. I'm not gonna lie, I was really hurt. I didn't say anything in the moment because I didn't want to make it about me, but I went home and cried. It felt like such a slap in the face. Her cousins live in different states and she sees them maybe twice a year. I've been there for literally everything for almost a decade. A couple weeks later Chelsea asked if I could help her DIY some of the wedding decorations to save money. She wanted to do like 300 origami cranes or some other Pinterest thing. I told her I was pretty busy with work and didn't think I'd have time. She seemed annoyed but dropped it. Then she asked if I could help her address all the wedding invitations because she wanted them hand-lettered and I have nice handwriting. Again I said I was swamped and couldn't commit to that. She got more visibly frustrated and said she really needed help because wedding planning was overwhelming. I finally told her that I didn't feel comfortable doing bridesmaid-level work when I wasn't actually a bridesmaid, that it felt like she wanted all the help and support without actually including me in the important parts. She got really defensive and said that I was being selfish, that friendship isn't about titles and I should want to help her regardless, that she'd help me with my wedding someday even if I didn't make her a bridesmaid. I said that's different because I would never not make her a bridesmaid. She said I was making her wedding about me and my hurt feelings instead of being happy for her. We kind of left it tense and didn't talk for a few days. Her sister Kelly called me last week, said that Chelsea was really stressed and hurt that I was abandoning her during wedding planning, that I was being petty and vindictive over not getting a title, that real friends show up regardless. I told Kelly that Chelsea made a choice about who was important enough to stand next to her on her wedding day and that choice didn't include me, so she can't expect me to act like we're as close as we used to be. Kelly said I was being incredibly immature and that I'm ruining Chelsea's wedding experience, that Chelsea is crying about this and feels like she's losing her best friend over something stupid. I said maybe she should have thought about that before excluding me from the wedding party. Now a bunch of our mutual friends are getting involved. About half are saying I'm being ridiculous and should just help my friend. The other half are saying they get why I'm hurt and Chelsea can't have it both ways. Chelsea sent me a long text saying she never meant to hurt me but that family was important to both her and Brad and they made the decision together. She said if I don't want to be involved at all anymore she understands but she's devastated that our friendship is ending like this. I don't necessarily want the friendship to end but I also feel like she showed me where I actually rank in her life and I can't just pretend that doesn't hurt. My mom says I'm overreacting and that weddings make people do weird things with their wedding party choices. My sister says Chelsea sounds like she was using me and I'm right to set boundaries. So AITA for refusing to help with wedding stuff after not being made a bridesmaid? Update 6 weeks later. I didn't expect my post to get so much attention. My inbox was completely flooded. Thank you to everyone who shared their own wedding friendship drama stories. It helped me feel less alone in this whole situation. A lot has happened in the past 6 weeks. After my original post I decided to take some space from Chelsea. I muted her on social media and stopped responding to texts immediately. I needed time to really think about our friendship and whether the bridesmaid thing was actually the main issue or just the final straw of something bigger. About 2 weeks after my post Chelsea texted asking if we could meet for coffee and talk in person. I agreed because I figured we at least owed each other an actual conversation. We met at our usual spot and it was so awkward at first, like we didn't know how to talk to each other anymore. She apologized for not being more upfront about the wedding party from the beginning, said she knew I'd be hurt and kept avoiding the conversation which made everything worse. I asked her why family only was so important and she admitted it wasn't really her idea. Brad's mom had apparently made a huge deal about keeping the wedding party even and family focused. Chelsea said she just went along with it to keep the peace because planning a wedding was already stressful enough without fighting with her future mother-in-law. I pointed out that she'd thrown me under the bus to make Brad's mom happy, that she'd chosen to keep peace with someone she barely knew over honoring a 9-year friendship. She started crying and said she knew she messed up but didn't know how to fix it now without causing family drama. The wedding was only 3 months away at that point and everything was already set. Here's where it got really messy. I asked her point blank if she actually considered me her best friend or if I was just convenient, someone who was always around and available. She got really quiet and then admitted that sometimes she felt like our friendship was uneven, that I was more invested in it than she was, that she loved me but maybe not in the same way I loved her. That hurt worse than the bridesmaid thing, honestly, finding out that the person you considered your absolute closest friend saw you as kind of a tier 2 friend this whole time. I told her I appreciated her honesty but I needed more space. We finished our coffees in mostly silence and left. I didn't hear from her for about 3 weeks after that. Then she texted me saying she'd made a decision. She was uninviting one of her cousins, the one she's least close to, and making me a bridesmaid instead. Said she realized I was right and that I deserved to be up there, that our friendship was more important than her future mother-in-law's opinions. I told her no. At that point it wasn't about being a bridesmaid anymore. It was about the fact that she only offered after I pushed back and made her feel guilty, that she'd already shown me I wasn't a priority. Being a pity bridesmaid felt worse than not being one at all. She got really upset, said she was trying to fix things and I wasn't letting her. I said some things can't be fixed by just changing your mind after the damage is done. She accused me of wanting her to grovel. I said I just wanted her to understand why this hurt so much and why her solution didn't actually solve anything. We haven't talked since then. That was about 2 weeks ago now. I did get a wedding invitation in the mail which felt surreal. I haven't RSVP'd yet because I honestly don't know if I'm going to go. Part of me thinks I should go to support her despite everything. Part of me thinks going would just be torture watching her marry Brad while being surrounded by people she chose over me. Our mutual friend group has basically split over this. The people who are in Chelsea's corner think I'm being stubborn and unforgiving. The people in my corner think Chelsea showed her true colors and I'm right to protect myself. There's a few people trying to stay neutral but it's awkward for everyone. My sister asked me the other day what I actually want the outcome to be. I realized I don't know anymore. I miss my friend. I miss our girls' nights and random Tuesday phone calls and sending each other stupid memes. But I also don't know if I can go back to how things were knowing that she didn't value our friendship the same way I did. So that's where things are right now. No resolution, just a lot of hurt feelings and a friendship that might be over. The wedding is in like 10 weeks and I still haven't decided if I'm going. Update 2 to 4 months later. It's been 4 months since my last update and a lot happened so I figured I should post one final time to close this whole thing out. I didn't go to Chelsea's wedding. I sent a card with a small gift about a week before and texted her saying I couldn't make it but I wished her the best. She didn't respond to the text. One of our mutual friends who did go told me it was a beautiful wedding and Chelsea seemed really happy. I'm genuinely glad for her even though things ended badly between us. About 2 weeks after the wedding Chelsea called me at like 11 at night. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. At first I thought something terrible had happened. Turned out she was just drunk and emotional. She kept saying she was sorry, that she ruined everything, that she missed me, that her wedding day felt wrong without me there. I stayed on the phone with her for almost an hour while she cried and rambled. Brad eventually took the phone and apologized for her calling so late. He said she'd been really torn up about our friendship ending and the wedding had made it all hit her. I told him it was fine and to make sure she drank water. We hung up. The next morning she texted me apologizing for the drunk call, said she meant everything she said but shouldn't have unloaded on me like that. I told her I appreciated the apology but I needed to be honest with her. I'd been doing a lot of thinking and I realized our friendship had probably been unhealthy for a while, that I'd made her my whole social world and put way too much pressure on one relationship. That wasn't fair to either of us. She said she'd been thinking the same thing, that she felt suffocated sometimes by how much I needed from her, that she loved me but it was too much. We both apologized for different things, her for not being direct about how she felt, me for making her responsible for my emotional well-being in ways that weren't reasonable. We decided to take an extended break from the friendship, not blocked or anything dramatic, just not actively trying to hang out or talk regularly. Maybe someday we'd be friends again in a healthier way but right now we both needed space. That was about 3 months ago. We've texted maybe 4 times since then, mostly just happy birthday or hey how are you doing kind of things. It's weird and sad but also kind of peaceful. I've been working on building other friendships and not putting all my eggs in one basket socially. I joined a book club and started taking a pottery class, met some cool people who I'm getting to know slowly. My therapist has been helpful with all of this. Apparently I have some anxious attachment stuff from my childhood that makes me cling to people and need constant reassurance. Working on that has been hard but good. I'm learning that healthy friendships have more breathing room than what Chelsea and I had. I saw Chelsea at a mutual friend's birthday party last month. It was the first time we'd seen each other in person since the coffee shop conversation. We were polite, said hi, asked how married life was treating her, kept it surface level. She looked good, happy. I was genuinely glad to see her doing well even if we're not close anymore. Someone asked in a message if I regret not just sucking it up and being a supportive friend regardless of the bridesmaid thing. Honestly, no. I think if I'd forced myself to help with the wedding while feeling hurt and resentful, it would have poisoned everything anyway. At least this way we were honest about our feelings even if it ended badly. Do I miss her? Yeah, all the time. I'll see something funny and my first instinct is still to text her. I have to remind myself we're not doing that anymore. But I also think losing this friendship taught me a lot about myself and what I need to work on. That's valuable even if it's painful. Chelsea is living her life. I'm living mine. Maybe in a few years we'll reconnect and build something new. Maybe we won't. Either way, I hope she's happy. And I'm working on being happy too without needing her validation or presence to feel okay. So that's the end of this whole saga. Friendship over. Lessons learned. Moving forward. Thanks to everyone who commented and messaged. It really did help during the worst parts. Final update 10 months later. I really wasn't going to post again, but some people have been asking for an update, so here's the actual final one. It's been almost a year since Chelsea's wedding, 10 months since my last post. Life has moved on in ways I didn't expect. Chelsea and I don't talk anymore at all. We're still Facebook friends, but that's it. I see her posts occasionally, pictures of her and Brad doing married couple stuff. They got a dog. They took a trip to Italy. Normal life things. I don't comment or like anything. She doesn't on mine either. We're basically strangers who used to know each other really well. About 5 months ago I ran into her at Target completely by accident. We were both in the home goods section, made eye contact, did that awkward thing where you both half smile and then look away. I thought that would be it, but she actually came over to me. She asked how I'd been. I said good, busy with work. Asked how married life was. She said it was an adjustment but mostly good. We did maybe 2 minutes of small talk and then ran out of things to say. She said it was good to see me. I said the same. We both walked away in different directions. The whole interaction felt so hollow. This person who used to know everything about my life is now someone I make weather conversation with in Target. I sat in my car afterward and just felt really sad about the whole thing. But here's what's changed. I have actual friends now. Real ones that I built more balanced relationships with. My book club friend Sarah and I hang out regularly. She's teaching me how to garden. I'm teaching her how to bake. It's easy and fun and there's no weird pressure or intensity. I have other friends from the pottery class I mentioned before. We do girls' nights sometimes but not with the same frequency Chelsea and I used to. It's healthier. I started dating someone about 3 months ago. His name is Marcus. He's really kind and patient and he's been good for me while I work through my attachment issues. I told him about the whole Chelsea situation on our 3rd date because I wanted to be upfront about where I was emotionally. He said everyone has friend breakup stories and it didn't scare him off. My therapist says I've made a lot of progress with my anxious attachment patterns. I don't spiral anymore when people don't text back immediately. I can handle conflict without assuming the entire relationship is ending. I'm learning that people can care about me without me being their #1 priority all the time. I found out through a mutual friend that Chelsea is pregnant, due in the spring apparently. I felt a weird mix of emotions when I heard. Happy for her because she always wanted kids, sad that I won't be part of that chapter of her life, relieved that I don't have to navigate baby shower drama or pretend everything is fine, guilty for feeling relieved. I thought about sending her a congratulations text but decided against it. At a certain point you have to accept that some relationships are just over and trying to maintain them out of obligation or guilt isn't healthy for anyone. Last week I was at brunch with Sarah and a couple other friends. Someone made a joke and I laughed so hard I snorted coffee. Sarah said something like, "This is exactly why we keep you around." It was such a simple moment, but it hit me that I'm genuinely happy, not the frantic trying to be happy I was doing a year ago, actually content. Do I still think about Chelsea sometimes? Yeah, of course. 9 years of friendship doesn't just disappear, but it doesn't hurt the way it used to. It's more like a bruise that's healed but left a mark. You remember it was there but it doesn't ache anymore. Someone messaged me asking if I'd do anything differently if I could go back. I've thought about that a lot. I think I would have had the hard conversation with Chelsea earlier about feeling sidelined before the wedding even happened, but I don't know if it would have changed the outcome. Some friendships have expiration dates and maybe ours was always going to end eventually. I don't regret standing up for myself about the bridesmaid thing. I think if I'd helped with the wedding while feeling hurt and resentful it would have just delayed the inevitable and made everything messy. At least this way we were honest even if the honesty destroyed the friendship. I'm in a place now where I can look back on the good parts of our friendship without them being overshadowed by how it ended. We had some really great times. She was there for me through some rough stuff. I was there for her too. Those years meant something even if they're over now. Chelsea is building her life with Brad and their future baby. I'm building mine with new friends and Marcus and hobbies I actually enjoy. We're both okay. We're just okay separately instead of together. I don't know if we'll ever talk again. Maybe at some mutual friends' wedding years from now we'll end up at the same table and have a polite conversation about our lives. Maybe we won't. I'm at peace with either outcome now. So that's really it, the actual final chapter. Friendship ended, lessons learned, life continued. For everyone going through friend breakups right now, it does get easier. The pain doesn't last forever. You find new people and build new connections, and one day you realize you're okay without the person you thought you couldn't live without. Thanks for following this whole messy story. I'm logging out of this account now for good.